Hello students, let us continue with our CSS part 2. In the part 2, we'll go up with the different properties related with it. So first of all, let us study about the font properties. So the font properties, there are different types, font families, font sizes, font variant, like that. So first, let us study about the font families. It is the type, family is nothing but the type of the font which will be used for rendering the text. Here there are two types of names which are used for the categorization of the fonts. First one is the family name and the generic families. Example for the family names and generic families is family name, that is example Arial, Times New Roman, etc. This is an example for the family name. Next, coming to the generic family. Generic family is used to describe the groups of family names with uniformed appearances. For example, so if you select any one family name, under that what type of different types of generic families comes. So example serif, sans serif, monospace, cursive, etc. All this will act as a generic families. Coming to the second font property, that is the font size. In order to change the font size, we are going to use the property called font size property. So it specifies the size of the font, and it can be in the form of a numerical value or in the text value, which will be represented in the form of the pixels, like that. So here example I have given. In order to apply the font size 9 pixels for the content of the paragraph, to make the content of the paragraph, I have mentioned here P, flower brace. P is the selector name now. Font size is the font property it is. Next, the font property is a predefined properties these are. So compulsorily while writing the font property, make sure that font hyphen size. This is the name of the property. Next, colon. Next, the value for that font size will be represented either in the form of a numerical value or in the form of a text value. Here according to this example, I have given 9 pixels. Coming to the next one, that is font variant. So font variant property, what it will do means, it specifies whether the font will be displayed in small caps. Small caps means which will be displayed in the capital case, but font size is smaller than usual. So here according to this property, font variant property, the characters will be displayed, the characters or the letters will be displayed in the capital, but the size of the font will be displayed in a smaller. See example P, EM, font variant, colon, small caps I have given. That means the content of the EM which is present in the P tag will be displayed with the small capital letters with a small size. Next, coming to the next property, that is a font styles. Font style property affects the posture of the text. So that means it can be italic and oblique. So these are both the slanted versions of the font. So if you want to set it as italic or oblique, like that, we can mention the font style property, colon, give the value for that font style. Next, coming to the font weight. Font weight property specifies the thickness of the font. It can range from 100 to 900. Either we can give the font weight means the thickness, with how much thickness the font has to get displayed. So example I have given font weight, colon, 100. So now the content of the P, that is a paragraph, will be highlighted with the thickness 100. Next, coming to the next property, that is a font shorthand. See here, till now we have seen how to assign the font weight, how to assign the font style, the font weight like that separately. Now we can apply all these properties in a single CSS coding line itself, which is known as the font shorthand. See, using this font shorthand property, we can cover all the different properties in a single property line itself. Example, a normal example I am giving here. Here, if you observe this example, I have given P flower bracket, font style colon italic, that is style I have specified as italic, weight I have given bold, size I have given 30 pixels, font family I have mentioned it as Arial. If you observe clearly this example, everywhere I have mentioned the property name as well as the value for that property. So here all the things, so font style, suppose with this shorthand property we can mention with the single line as shown in the example. Next, coming to the text properties. So coming to the text, first property, that is text indent. So this indent property it specifies how much of space to indent before the first line of the text in a block. Both the length and the percentage can be used as the unit of measurements for this text indent. Here in the example I have given the value in the form of percentage as 25%. Next is text align. It specifies how text is justified, whether alignment means whether it is a left, right, center, like that. So where you want to place that alignment of that text. So this alignment, text align property will be having the values as left, right, center and justified. We have to make use of this predefined values only. Next, coming to text decoration. It specifies how text is decorated. Here the values for this text decoration property are underline, overline, line through and blink. Underline means the text, whatever we want to do, that will be underlined. Overline means a line will be generated on the text. Line through, overline on top, line through means on the text, blink means the text will be blinking and displayed. Next, coming to text transformation. So it controls how the upper and lower cases are displayed. Here the possible values which are used for this text transformation will be either capitalize, uppercase, lowercase or none. So as we know that capitalize means all will be displayed with the capital form, uppercase almost similar to this, lowercase which will be displayed in the small letters, none means as it is we have typed. Next, coming to the list properties. Here the different list properties are, first one is list style type. Here it will be used to select the type of the marker or the bullets that appears before each list item. It can be, the values usually for this list style type property will be none, disk, circle, square, either decimal, lower alpha, upper alpha, etc. So whichever whether if you want a disk or a circle or any Roman numbers or any alphabet values, either uppercase, lowercase, so we can mention that value for this list style type. Default will be disk, okay, which will be applied for all the unordered list, ordered list. Next, coming to list style images. See, in order to set the type of the marker as the image. Okay, so we can set even the images also as the marker points for our values or the items, list items. At the time, we can make use of the property called list style images. So here list style image colon, here default will be none here, and the values used for this properties will be URL, none, inherit. See one example I have given here. Order in the ordered list I have mentioned the list style images colon URL, and within the brackets we have to provide the URL of the image which we are going to set it as the list style image bullet point or the marker point. A list style position. So this will be used to place the list marker either outside of the list or inside of the list. So here this property will be having two values, one will be the inside and other will be the outside. Either we can put it inside or either we can continue that with the outside. Next, coming to color properties. So to set the colors for the text or the backgrounds or the foreground colors, so we can make use of this color properties. We can set the color for the foreground using the color property. See here a color property with a hexadecimal code representation I have given. Either we can mention the color name or either we can give the code of that color also as an value for that color property. And the background color can be used to change the background color of the screen, and it can be same just like that. By making use of the background color property, we can set the value for that. Background images. See here just like changing the colors, even we can maintain the image as a background images also. That is possible with the help of the property called background image. So this background image property will be used to add a background image to an element. Here I have given background -image colon URL, the name address of that image. Next is background repeat. So this repeat property specifies whether the background image repeats itself. And the other values which we can mention for this background repeat are X repeat, Y repeat, no repeat and default. If it is X repeat, suppose if you have set the value for the background repeat as X repeat, horizontal wise the image will be repeated. If you set it as Y repeat, then the image will be displayed vertically. No repeat means repetition will not be there, and repeat means entire screen it will be repeated, both horizontally, vertically, everything. Next, coming to, so whenever we are setting this repeat properties, the background image, first we are setting the image, then we are going to make use of the background repeat property. Next, coming to background position. It specifies the position of the background, its values. Generally, the values which are used for this background position are combination. So, for the combination of, it is a top, center, bottom and left, center, right, like that. And 2% values we can give. One is for the horizontal and the second value will represent the vertical value, and two positional values where the first value represent the absolute horizontal value and the second one will represent the vertical position value. Example I have given, background position 20%, 20% like that. So where I have represented the value for this position in the form of percentage. As I told you, percentage means the first value will represent the horizontal and the second value will represent the vertical. Coming to span and due tags. Span and due tags are two generic elements which can be customized to describe the content perfectly. So the span and the due tags, usually they will be asking for the short answer questions in the exam. Okay, here due is nothing but the block level container, whereas span tag is an inline container. Span will be applied only for the inline, whereas due represents the entire. Due divides the content into individual sections where each section can have its own formatting as specified in the CSS. And span will be used for grouping and applying styles to inline elements. So whenever we are using span, it will be applicable only for the inline element. Coming to, this is the block diagram which represents the CSS box model. If you observe this diagram, see the middle part, will call it as the content. Next, after the content, we are seeing the padding, which is one more section of this padding, that is a left padding, right padding, top, bottom padding, like that. After the padding, we are observing the border. Next, after the border, we are observing the margin. Coming to this box model is the specification that defines how a box and its attributes are related to each other. Generally, this box model is made up of 4 different parts. The first part is the content area. As it's shown you in the block diagram, the content area is the innermost part of the box, and this is the XHTML element itself or the content. Second is a padding. So padding is nothing but the space between the content area of the box and the border. So here the space between the content and the border is nothing but an padding. Next, coming to border. Border is nothing but the middle layer in the box, and that is the element borders, and the border outlines the visible portion of the element. Coming to the last section of this CSS box model, that is known as margin. Here, margin is the space just outside the border. Here, this margin will be invisible to the users. It doesn't have any background colors and it will not contain any elements in it. Next, coming to conflict resolution. See here, there are lots of scenarios in which conflicts occurs and several factors will be involved in resolving these conflicts. See, we have seen that sometimes if you have used the same element either inside the document or outside the documents which are linked to each other, or within some part of the program and all, it may give the confusions to which when we are applying the CSS and all, to which element it will be applicable. Such type of conflicts are nothing but this conflicts, and the factors which are related with this resolutions, that is in solving this type of conflict resolutions are nothing but inheritance. Inheritance means, already we know that inheritance is nothing but acquiring the properties, okay, from the parent to the child. The rule in this style sheet would be inherited by all its child elements. Next is the source order, second one. It means the order in which rules appear in the style sheet. A rule that appears later in the source order will generally overrule an earlier rule. See here, I have given body font family Gorgia. Next, I have given H1, H2 as the two selectors, where font family I have mentioned it as Arial. Here, H1 and H2 selectors are in the source order after the body. So, headings would get displayed in Arial but not in the Gargia. This is nothing but a source order. Next is specificity. Here specificity means when two rules in a single sheet conflict, then the type of the selector determine the winner. See here example I have given P font family Gargia. Again I have given dot feature P font family Arial. Here the selector dot feature represents the specificity. So I am specifying this should be the particular. So whichever the CSS that will be prefixed with dot feature will be having more specific than the previous selector. Next, coming to rule order. If there are conflicts within the style rules of the identical weight, whichever one comes in the last in the list wins. For example, here I have given P color red, blue, yellow. So three. For the paragraph I have mentioned three different colors. According to this example, it will be yellow. So which comes at the last will be the first preference. So the content of the paragraph will be displayed with yellow color. So these are the different conflict resolution techniques. Next one more, that is important. So exclamatory mark important I have given. This rule always overrule the other rules. It will be having the more preference than the previous rules what we have studied. A user created style sheets can use exclamatory mark important to overrule the internal and inline rules. So I have given Arial, font family Arial. Exclamatory mark important. According to this above example, everything, since I have given the star mark, everything would be Arial. Next is the location. Here style rules can exist in a number of locations. The locations are browser style rules, external style rules, internal style rules, inline style rules, individual user style rules. These are the different location values we can set. Here the browser style rules are most distance from the XHTML page. Individual users are the closest here. So the inline overrules the external overrules the browser style, like that. Next, as I told you, these are some of the important topics from this CSS chapter, that is CSS syntax, levels of CSS, selector forms, CSS units of measurement, font properties, text properties, CSS box model, conflict resolution. All these are the important topics related with this CSS chapter. Thank you, students.